Hi all, welcome to another studio vlog. Come along as I make a bit of a hot mess and hopefully learn a few lessons along the way. This video is a little bit longer, so you might want to grab a snack, perhaps a beverage, but hope you enjoy the video.
Good morning all. I have gotten out a few supplies here in the studio. And if you didn't see last week's video, I'll try to remember to link it here at the end of the video. You can go watch that to kind of see my plans, I guess, if you will. But I'm going to flip the camera around and show you what I have got out here. But first, here's a quick introduction, just in case you're new around here and wondering what this channel is all about. Hi there, I'm Stacy, the encaustic mixed media artist behind Studio Stacy. Encaustic literally means to burn in. So I paint with beeswax and a torch, and because it's mixed media, pretty much anything else I can get my hands on. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Consider subscribing and joining this artsy community. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, which helps me get introduced to more like-minded artsy folks like yourself. Alright, so in last week's video, I touched on kind of the different surfaces that I wanted to paint on for the next several months or so, and I'm going to flip the camera around and show you what I decided to do today in the studio. Alright, because I am just starting this process out, I thought I would maybe start with a jumping off point. So these are all just random pieces of paper that I have already some watercolor on, and I think you can kind of tell these are from some leaf prints that I've done, but they're just like leftover, or rather they're the paper underneath the leaf prints that I did, so they're a bit messy. Some of them I used as a paint palette, like this one is probably used more as a paint palette. So at any rate, I have these three pieces out, and this does not have watercolor on it yet, but it has encaustic paint that I used the encaustic wax writer with. So I thought this could be fun to experiment with some watercolor and then maybe go back to some encaustic. So that is the surfaces. Okay, also in last week's video I mentioned this book, this dictionary of color combinations, and so what I did was I found the colors that were in this kind of painting already, and I picked this purple kind of as the color to go with, I guess you could say. And so if I flip to the page here, I've chosen these color palettes, or this color palette, these color combinations, because this is something I would not normally pick. Now, I might not have the exact colors, so I just picked the closest ones that I have. So this is Indian Yellow. Sorry if there's a glare there. And then this pink is Fuchsia. And then I have the purple that is in this background, which is the Dioxane purple. Dioxane purple, I believe, that's how you say that. And then I have this darker color as the Amethyst Genuine. So those are the colors I'm going to be using in this background and this background. And I'm going to start with these, see if I have enough time to get to this background, but I'm going to be doing some different colors in this background. That's my plan this morning. All right, all. I have to call it in the studio for now. I have to run and pick up groceries. We have a Harvest Host guest coming in later today, and I also need to get the house cleaned. So lots on the to-do list this afternoon. These are a bit of a hot mess, which I kind of expected them to be. So yeah, I'm gonna just let them dry. They're still rather wet, so I'm gonna just let them dry. Come back hopefully tomorrow. We'll see. I have no idea actually what's on my schedule this week. Really should figure that out. It is Monday today, by the way. So yeah, I'm gonna let you go here for today in the studio, and I'll be picking you back up hopefully tomorrow for you all. It'll just be a few moments. So see you then. Good morning, all. I'm gonna flip the camera around here and show you these, for lack of a better word, I'm calling them sketches, even though I didn't really draw anything. I'm just gonna call them sketches for now, just because I don't know. It just seems appropriate, I guess. So anyways, I keep looking down because they're sitting down there on my work table. So let me flip the camera around and kind of tell you my thoughts on each one, and then maybe decide what the heck I'm going to do with them next. All right, so here all three of them are, and maybe it would be better if I did this perhaps to get them all in the screen, all in the same screen here. Anyways, here they are, and this one here is a complete hot mess. Like, I don't know. I don't think much is working with it. So this I want to keep working on. This one I'm actually kind of happy with. Like, it wouldn't be a finished painting yet, but I'm happy with the layers that are on here so far. So I think this one I'm gonna just put aside for right now, and maybe in the next studio session get out turn the encaustic wax on and mess with it a little bit more. But this one is so it's not as much of a hot mess as the other one, but you know, it's not anywhere near done, obviously. And I'm trying to decide what it is that I like about this versus these other two. And I think the reason I like this one more than the other two is because it has like some certain defined areas. Like there's more blocks of color, and those blocks of color are a little bit more defined. Other than this down here, which I think is a little bit of a hot mess. It's not horrible, but it's not my favorite area. I really like this area kind of up in here. And again, I think it's because there's some like defined color blocking on it, I think. So if I go with that theory going forward with both of these, I might do some more color blocking on this one, and I don't know what I'm doing with this one. We're gonna figure that out though. And as I was doing a bit of computer work this morning, kind of going through emails and stuff like that, these were in the back of my head. And I was thinking about my process still here in the studio. Because you know, I'm a process kind of person, I think. And I was thinking that initially my plan was to come over here and turn the griddles on and get the encaustic wax going. However, I think what I'm going to do is try to finalize the backgrounds a little bit more. And I could do that with the encaustic wax, encaustic medium, but I think I'm going to attempt to do that with some other mixed media materials today. And I think going forward in the future, spending 1 or 2 days making backgrounds like these until I'm somewhat happy with them is a good plan, and then kind of turning the wax on and maybe working on maybe 6 different ones at a time. Definitely at least 3 at a time. I think that'll be a good use of not only turning the wax on, but also just a good use of being able to kind of stay in the flow of creating the backgrounds. So that's my plan as of right now. So anyways, let's figure out what the heck I'm going to do with these 2 backgrounds. And maybe I'll draw a random little ticket out of my thing. I have some ideas, but maybe to try to stay like loose and free and not get too in my head with these, maybe I should pick a ticket. That could be a big mistake, but anyways, let's just go for it. Okay, in case you missed the previous video, here's my bowl of tickets, I'm going to call them. And basically they're divided into 3 categories. The purple ones have times written on them, numbers written on them. The blue are these like turquoise ones, bluish ones. These are without encaustic, so that's before there's any encaustic put on these. And then the yellow ones are once I have some encaustic put on them, or when I want to start putting encaustic down. So I think I'm gonna pick 2 tickets or 2 tags. I'll just call them tickets to try to be clear about everything. So I'm gonna pick 2. I'm gonna pick a purple one, which will have my time on it. And then I'm gonna pick a blue one, which will either have like the medium or a process or something like that to do. So let's do that right now. All right, here's what I got. 10 minutes and Neocolor crayons. So I think, again, I'm going to try to stick with these colors on this particular one so as to not add in a whole new color, and these colors on this particular one. So let's get out the Neocolor crayons for the different colors, and then I'll set my phone for 10 minutes. All right, all, here's what it looks like after 10 minutes. 10 minutes goes by quite quickly. I've just added in some blocks of color on this one in, various different locations. I want to take water to it next, but the timer went off, so of course I paused. And then on this one, I just went around this leaf print in the center with actually a darker color. I think this is charcoal maybe. And that's all I did. So it goes by quite quickly here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one more card, one more blue card, and I'm going to go for another 10 minutes. So let's pick another card and see what I get. Ready? Falling out. Oh, very similar to the Neocolor crayons. It's probably not going to focus. It says Inktense blocks, so let's get those out and we'll do that next. 10 minutes again. All right, and once again, 10 minutes went by pretty quickly. This time, I think I struggled with it a little bit more because I had filled a lot of this in already. So I think that's maybe the downside of kind of working with 2 similar materials back to back. But I think right now what I'm going to do is add some water to these and see if I like them anymore. So I'm going to get the water out, I'm going to get a couple paintbrushes out, and in this one, I think the camera picked it up, I added some white Inktense blocks in some areas. I'm not sure if that's just going to mix in with the watercolor. I have a feeling that's what it's going to do. but I thought this one needed some white areas. So we'll see how that takes. Okay, that was probably kind of hard to see in the camera, but this area had a bunch of white on it, and as suspected, it just melted in with that blue watercolor underneath. So the white Inktense blocks don't work very well over watercolor, which I kind of suspected. I might try and take this spray bottle and just spray some of the white area, let that dry, and then come back with the paintbrush and water with the rest of it. It's just to see how that works. You know, one big experiment here. Also, if you hear buzzing, I apologize. The neighbors across the street are getting their lawn mowed, and it kind of travels through the holler here, so it could be a little loud. Hopefully it's not too distracting. Hopefully you can hear me over the buzzing. And spraying with water didn't really work either. So I'm just going to get out a paintbrush and maybe smush some of this around a little bit, see what happens. All right, all. I spent quite a bit more time going over these with various different things, and I don't know if it's any better or not, but this is where I'm going to leave it for today. And I didn't film a lot of the process. It's kind of like I was just in the zone, and so I didn't want to pick up the camera and film it and put it down and all of the stuff. So I will try to do better at filming this process more. You might get more time lapses than anything else. That way I can get in the zone. But yeah, I'll try better at that. So anyways, I'm gonna let you go here in the studio today, and I will hopefully, fingers crossed, be picking you back up tomorrow. And I might just start putting some encaustic paint down on these. They're not great, they're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but if I think if I keep putting more wet media down on them, and the papers are already very like crinkled, you know, it's paper, it can only stand so much. So yeah, I think I might just try to put down some encaustic paint tomorrow. We'll see. Anyways, you will know very shortly. See you in just a few. Hi all, have the wax turned on in here along with the encaustic medium is turned on, and also my paint griddle is turned on. So those are heating up, and while those are heating up, let me flip the camera around and show you what I've been doing. All right, I took these two square punches, which I have from back in the day when I used to scrapbook a long time ago. But I have them on hand still, and I'm making a very random stencil. And so I'm going to attempt to use a paper stencil with this painting here, or background, with the encaustic paint. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to go. I've also decided I'm going to put these two backgrounds aside, I think, because I have another idea for them. And so I'm not sure if I'm going to get to that today or not, but I'm going to put these two aside and see if that other idea, if I may work on that other idea today or not. But for now, putting these aside over here. For those of you that have been here a while, you may recognize this very dirty mat. And I've used this in the past when I work on paper because there's, it's just flat. There's no edges, so wax, the encaustic medium paint, kind of gets everywhere on the surface. So, and it does flake off of here somewhat easily, but this kind of allows me not to have to worry about cleaning it. So I've got this out. I also got the heat gun out, and the encaustic medium is all melted and ready to go. So we're going to start with maybe 1 or 2 layers of encaustic medium. I'm going to try not to put too much on here because it is paper and rather thin. So we'll see. If it gets too thick, then that's fine too. It's just a big old experiment, but we'll see how it goes. All right, all. I would not call this done, but it's there, right? It is what it is. I think I'm gonna call it done for now. I may eventually come back to it, and I think you saw I got out my Stabilo Marks All Black pencil and outlined a couple of the squares. I also got out some purple pan pastel and went along some edges and things like that with it. It's close. I mean, it's not close to being done. I shouldn't say that. It's not close to being done, but it's getting some ideas generated for possibly some more paintings. And I think I'm going to try to do this technique. What I might do is make some more backgrounds like this, somewhat similar, maybe with some different colors, and try the same thing with the squares, but in a slightly different way. That's my thought. I'll flip the camera around here and show you the final results for today. All right, here it is. And I'm going to tell you what I like about it. I like that the initial stencil, like you can still see these squares popping off. That was from the initial stencils that I put down before I put down these and then added more white paint over the whole thing. I like how these still pop off and how they're more opaque. I think you can, yeah, you can definitely see that. More opaque than some of the areas covered up with the white paint, just one layer of white paint. Actually, I think it has a couple, but at any rate, like, you know, you can really see through this because this just has a very thin layer versus these that have several different layers, or a couple layers of the white paint. So I like that, and I like that they, after going over them with the Stabilo Markzal pencil, they pop off a little bit even more. So I like that some of them are covered up, some of them are slightly covered up, and some are like not covered up at all. I like that. I think it's too random. So don't like maybe the randomness of it. I also like the purple pan pastel on the edges. I think maybe in the middle it looks a little bit like too messy. Maybe I should have just left that white, but it's not bad, right? It's not finished, but it's not bad. I thought I would stand it up and take a couple steps back so you can see it kind of standing up, and you know, who knows if it would go this way or, you know, it could go this way. Multiple different, actually I think I might like it that way better, but at any rate, it's not done. But the whole purpose of these exercise, as I said, I think from the very beginning, is to not come up with finished paintings, but rather come up with different ideas. So that's what I'm working towards here. So anyway, I think I'll probably let you go here for this one. Stay tuned for the next video. I don't know if I'll do another one like this. I'm kind of leaning that way, doing another one similar to this, but maybe attempting to make it more cohesive, feel a little bit more finished, try some different ideas with it. I might stick with this idea for a little while. Hopefully you all are up for that. If you have any questions about this process or anything like that, let me know down there below in the comments. I'm happy to answer anything and everything. Oh, I should say I also gave this one final fuse with the torch, and I did that because the rest of the paper was completely covered up with encaustic paint and or medium, so I knew I wasn't going to catch anything on fire. So just so you know, you can always do that kind of towards the end of a painting on paper. Real light fuse, very careful as to not catch anything on fire. But at any rate, let me know down there below in the description if you have any questions. Please give it a thumbs up if you like the video. It really does help me out. And I think this is where I'm going to leave you for this video as well. We have had a ton of stuff going on. Lots of Harvest host guests staying with us, which has been very exciting, and I'm loving having them all, showing them the studio, all of the stuff. We did actually go on a trip ourselves, which hopefully by the time this video comes out, you will have seen that video. I will have gotten that edited. But we just haven't been doing a lot of projects around here. Maybe what I might show you, well, no, I'll show you that in the next video. I was going to say our herb garden and stuff, because that's really doing well, and we've been using quite a bit of herbs out of it, which is also exciting, but I will show you that in the next video. For now, we're just keeping this completely artsy video. So again, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you so very, very, very much for coming along, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.